Hello, my friends. It's your brother Zen bringing you more messages of love from above. And I'm always excited about doing videos, but this one, especially because I'm an Aquarian for my sun sign, and it is Aquarius month. And this reading and video is all about the new moon in Aquarius. So I'm really excited about that. And I'll talk a little bit about the new moon in Aquarius, and then we'll jump into doing a pick a card reading. You'll have a choice of 3 different cards here, and I'll start off letting you know those. So this one is just the new moon in general, and I love that. It says a new start is coming, which we always like new starts, especially when there's things that we want to let go and move on, right? And then this one is the new moon in Aquarius, which I love that because it says bring love into the situation. And then I've also chosen the full moon in Aquarius here, just because when I was preparing for this reading, I really got this message of cycles, and to understand that the whole new moon, full moon go in like this almost 6-month-ish cycle. So with the new moon in Aquarius being on February 11th, then the next full moon in Aquarius is going to be on like July 23rd, around that date. So whatever starts up with this Aquarian new moon, whatever's like planted, whatever comes into our life, those things around July 23rd is when it's going to come to like a climax or an ending or a transition. So I always say it's really cool to do like a new moon journal, or just a moon cycle journal of some sort, or even just your regular journal, and you can go back and look around, whenever a full moon comes around, you go back and look at when the new moon happened previously to that and kind of see what happened around that period of time, and then you actually end up seeing those things change around that full moon. So just some fun information on that to kind of keep an eye out if you're curious on doing that. So these cards here are from this wonderful deck, this Moonology deck. I use this so far for all the new moon and full moon readings that I've done, just because it brings a lot of cool information on there. If you're interested in this deck of cards, I'll have it linked down in the description box below. If you're interested, you can check that out. So I love the new moon in Aquarius, when, again, bringing love into the situation. Sun Aquarius and just Aquarius energy in general is all about progress, the modernity, or being modern, having modern things. And it's usually a time to like move forwards, let old ways of things go, and finding new ways of doing things. And I love in this little book, it talks about no looking back. So when this card in this, new moon comes up in Aquarius, it can mean changes on the way, and it could come quickly. Well, one of the things about change, usually most humans, we don't like change. We like to know what's happening and kind of like consistency, usually, unless we're in situations that are uncomfortable. For many, 2020 was not very comfortable. So change might sound like magical words right now when you're receiving this. So, but whether you get the change you want will depend on whether you believe you can make that change, and also how much you're relying on others to bring it to you. And when the new moon is in Aquarius, it's kind of this little message that you might need to do this on your own. Another important piece of that is what change you're looking for. You can ask yourself, is it aligned to bring me my highest love vibration? Or is it, what I'm asking for, going to be poison to my, body, poison to my spiritual path? we can ask for things that aren't the healthiest for us, but our higher self and, the Creator and all our angels and our spirit guides and loved ones that are kind of escorting us on our journey will allow those things to unfold that we wanted to unfold in our life. And if there was something that we're asking for that really wasn't for our purpose, and they'll kind of nudge us and give us clarity for that. Or even if it's something that we absolutely did not want it to happen to us, and we decided that before we came down here, we said, whatever happens, don't let me do that. And then they're like, okay, we'll make that happen. Here, sign this waiver saying, this is what you want. So with this, of course, like I said, the Aquarius is about doing things new. So let go of the past. We come back to the now, and we take one step toward our future in this moment. It mentions in the Moonology book here to tune to this new moon. We can explore the idea that it's not what we know, but who we know. Aquarians, believe it or not, are, kind of humanity-based and social-based. So we like to impact, humanity in general. So that's kind of where that who you know kind of comes into play. But Aquarius is the sign of invention, modern advances in technology, and like I mentioned, in humanity. So the Aquarian energy can be kind of across as individualistic, or even scientific, and as you probably have heard, when it comes to Aquarians, we're relatively emotionally detached, and that's based on the sun sign. Of course, all the other planets influence you as well, because you've seen the Aquarian, pictures that they have of what an Aquarius is, and it has this water bearer. So, of course, it makes you think, oh, they're a water sign, which we're actually not. Aquarius is actually an air sign, so we're more about the intellect than the emotional type of water signs. But like, again, I have so much water in my chart that even though I'm an Aquarian, I also I have like 2/3 of all my planets and everything are in water. So that kind of balances out my super intellect and allows me to, be emotional sometimes. But so this energy that for this new moon is basically about dropping convention, thinking bigger, thinking newer, and really going outside the box. So whatever's going on in your life, and you can kind of look at it as this message that'll be coming is going to be bringing new ways of doing things. And if we're stubborn and try to hold on to the old, it won't unfold as easily and as generously for us if we don't embrace the new ways of doing things on there. So that's what this energy is bringing with this new moon in Aquarius. So we'll go ahead and jump into our reading now. So you'll have picked number 1, number 2, or number 3. And I'll have timestamps, of course, in the description box below if you want to jump to either 2 or 3 if you didn't select number 1, because we'll start on number 1 now. All right, if you picked reading number 1, which is the new moon, then this is the reading for you. And I'll go ahead and put this over here. And I thought I'd start off by pulling a card here from the Queen of Moon Oracle, just to get our overall general theme of your reading. And as always, before I start, I just like to thank the Creator for being with us, and thank the Creator, the Mother and Father of all things, for your unconditional love. And we invite any messages of love you have for us today. We also invite all our angels and our guides and our loved ones who have passed over, and any of those unconditional love beings of light on the other side that will help bring through those messages. We invite you and thank you as well. All right. Let's see what our first message is for those that chose card number 1, the new moon, just the general new moon. All right. What is the first message for those that chose card number 1, please? Whoa, there we go. Jumping on out. And you got Patience, the green corn moon. And I love the pictures on these cards. It looks like a portal looking through to the moon energy there. And a little red balloon. Beautiful. And that's card number 36. If that means something for you there. I know everyone has their favorite numbers. 3 and 6 is 9, of course. So I'm going to read from the little book here. It says, enjoy the journey, not just the destination. The time has come to learn patience and avoid the lure of instant gratification. Slow down. Take your time. Things are happening. You just can't see it yet. Be loving and patient with your body. And the little phrase that gives is, I take my time to enjoy the journey. And it goes on to say, patience is a kind of faith in foreseeing. We might see the seed, but we foresee the flower. We might see the books on the table, but we foresee the degree at the end if we read them. If we think physically, we might feel the pain of a hard workout, but foresee and have faith in the muscle and fitness levels we will build. Patience is a way of experiencing the process of fruition. For some of us, we choose what is quick and easy. We may choose activities we know we will be good at, right? These require no big process, no great challenge over time, and so no great achievement, even if we are good at them. More difficult is the kind of patience and mastery, where the skills or learning take time to accrue, and this is where the beauty of patience is born. When we truly realize the power of patience, we understand the power of gaining something incredibly deep and embedded, rather than quick hit of instant gratification. There is great power in going slow. There is also the lifelong benefit of the power of trusting that you can hold a focus for a time for something big. For some of us, learning a physical skill enables us to fall in love with our bodies again, seeing it change and try over and over. We recognize its magnificence in all its weirdness, wonkiness, strength, weakness, and inherent wisdom. We get to feel the process and the miracle. And if our body doesn't quite get it and we run out of patience, well, nasty self-talk is the last thing I would throw at it. After all, my body is not my enemy. Instead, I throw compassion and trust at it. The compassion that it's doing its best right now, and the trust that it will get me to where I want to go, even if that is eventually. I've learned to be patient. The green corn moon encourages us to watch for growth and enjoy patiently the journey of growth. While we may not yet be at fruition, we're on the way. And it gives a nice companion stone if you're into crystals and stones, and that is jade, which is beautiful. So I love this because this fits right in with the new moon. You know, new moon is planting new seeds and being patient for the growth and enjoying the process, enjoying the cycle of, you know, the new moon to the full moon and the full moon to the new moon. So, you know, look into what it is you would like to plant and then watch it grow. All right, next I'm going to pull a card here from the Path of the Soul. It's the Destiny cards here, and we'll see what additional message we have here. And I love, we talked about the Aquarian energy, and that it's about thinking outside the box and looking for new ways of doing things. So new beginnings too. You know, if you've been trying something over and over and over again, and it's been getting the same result, that's called insanity. You know, try something new. If you do what you always did, you're going to get what you always got. So, all right, what additional message do we have for those that chose the new moon? First card, please. Whoa, okay. This is card number 37, which this one was 36, so very vibrant colors here. Let me see what that card means here for us from the little book. So 37 is consciousness. This is a powerful card of change, not physically, but mentally on the subconscious level. There is a healing of your thought processes, old patterns, and a way of being. There is a large spiritual force working with you now, helping to rebalance the mental body. You are finding greater clarity and new ways of dealing with life experiences. Your inner work has brought you here. You are in the flow of healing. This is a powerful step toward becoming an outwardly expressing your true state of being. Let me reread that. This is a powerful step toward becoming and outwardly expressing your true state of being, which is wonderful. I mean, I loved in this card too, it mentioned about how even if you can't see it, things are being worked on behind the scenes. And this talks about being, things are being worked on in the unconscious. And what I love is, you know, our unconscious, we have our things that we're aware of that, you know, we've been working on our entire lives, but there's this unconscious, you know, whenever we make like a positive choice, the opposite goes into our subconscious and still running, you know, under the surface. So the more we look at and investigate not only what we're consciously aware of, but even ways to get into our unconscious to understand what kind of programs are running there underneath. And that helps us too. And I love how it is saying, yay, great job. You've been doing a lot of your inner work. And that's what's bringing this healing and bringing this change to fruition. So again, when I talked about in the beginning about this Aquarius new moon, you know, it's about change coming, change. So good confirmation there as well. All right, and I'm going to pull a card here from this Art of Manifestation deck here. That's what additional message we have. All right, what additional message, please? Oh, there we go. Bless your past. And I'll show that you here. Just let you see that card. I love that. It's in your hands. So it says, and this is card number 5, a useful tool to help us to let go of any emotional residue that is still clinging to us from a past experience is to bless your past. Whenever the memory of an event or person comes to mind, pause and say to yourself, I bless every aspect of my past, and I celebrate the contribution that it gave me in becoming the person that I am today. Love that, love that. I mean, everything I talked about in the beginning, and so if you didn't watch the introduction to the new moon in Aquarius, I would go listen to that, because everything that is coming up on here, I mentioned in there. You know, the new moon is about letting go of the past and looking forward. You know, don't focus on the past, move forward. So if the past is still holding on to you and weighing you down, you know, I love it. It's saying, don't, you know, curse the past and say, let me go. You know, it's like, bless the past. Thank you for what it brought you. Thank you for what it contributed to be who you are in this moment. And that'll allow you to move to the next phase. Let me see if there's anything extra here in her book too. She does go expand a little further. And she says, difficult experiences leave their mark, and while physical scars will heal, it's the emotional ones that remain, often resurfacing in the form of repetitive memories and thinking patterns that are laden with powerful emotions such as fear, anger, resentment, or guilt. If we continue to go over a past event again and again within our mind, we are fueling the emotional resonance resonance of that event. Yeah, and residence too, right? It takes up residence, and we're giving it space in our brain. But it's causing us to continue to cling to it, holding us back and potentially sabotaging our growth and our ability to move forwards in the present time. So, beautiful message. All right. And then lastly, I'm going to pull some cards from this Oracle deck that I'm working on with the creator. Hopefully it'll be available sometime this year, depending on how things unfold. I've got great intentions. But we'll see what messages we have. Some clarification around the circumstances. All right. Any additional messages for those? Can give us some clarity. Okay, any others? Okay, one more pass. Okay, that one really wants to come out there. All right. So we'll take these one at a time here. All right. New moon. So yeah, I can't say more to that. That is everything we talked about the new moon. And if you didn't watch the introduction about the new moon, I really think this is a message saying, go watch that, and that'll be linked in the description box below too. Yep, the power of now. I love this because you can see all the sands of the future and the sands of the past down there, but the only ones that are highlighted are the ones that are falling, and that is the power of being in the moment of now. And I loved it because it talked about being in the present in these cards too. What I love about this, and I feel like I'm being prompted to talk about this, is when I looked at leaving and the job that I was in, and I wanted to live my dream, and I wanted to not just exist, but I wanted to live. One of the questions I wrote down is, what is my dream? And I wrote down everything that I thought was what I wanted to become, what I wanted for the future. And what's hilarious is that Spirit took me kind of in my mind's eye to the future, when seeing that when I would have had all these things of what I thought I wanted. And then, the Creator asked, are you happy? And in that moment in the future, when I was in all, I was like, no, I didn't feel content. I was looking for the next thing. And then I would see that I would want the next thing and the next thing. And so, the message is, if I'm not happy in this moment with where I'm at and what I have, and I'm not grateful for it, then I won't be grateful in the future when I have all those things I think I need in the future. So my dream became, be here now with the Creator. Be here now with you. And whenever I start to get anxiety or drawn into the future of all these things I want to make sure I get done, and I start to work, and it becomes work, then I remember, oh, that's right, I'm not in the now, I'm back into the future. I'm worried about the future, so I come back to being here now with the Creator. And then your last card is, you got the evil card. And I love, it's like, who's behind the mask? And that question there, who's behind the mask, is the question that the Creator gives us to help us transform this feeling of that there's evil out there into a place of safety, a place of unconditional love, peace, and joy. And what this card is, we're taught and convinced that out there is evil. There's things that are happening. There's a villain in our story that is coming to get us, that has it out for us. And that is when we get into this mentality of that the things that happen in life are happening to us. And we know we're in the drama when there's a victim, a villain, and a hero. And we come here to experience this. We come here to experience what it might feel like to be victimized. And maybe sometimes what it might feel like to be a villain, because sometimes we're a villain and we don't even realize it. And people will let us know, that we are, making them angry or sad or disappointed or whatever. We're playing a villain in the story. And then also we like to play the hero. We like to go rescue people and help untie them from the railroad tracks and evil villain. But when it says, who's behind the mask, and we take that mask off, we're startled to find out that it is us that is behind that mask, because we're the ones that are controlling, our perception of the world. We see the world as we are, not as it is. So if we feel there's villains out there, it's because there's a villain inside us. And that can be our fear ego. That's accusing us of failing, that is, whispering in our ear about how much of a failure we are, how much we're not living up to who we're supposed to be and should be, and how, what the gap is between being successful and where you're at. All those things are those self-talk, and it talked about in here too, about that self-talk. Negative self-talk is not what I would throw out my body, right? And that is this villain. So whenever we find ourselves, like I mentioned in The Power of Now, whenever we find ourselves outside the moment, we can return back to the now. Same thing, whenever we feel like we're being victimized, or feel there's a villain in our life, then we can return back to us and ask ourselves, how am I being a villain to myself? If we feel, someone is being rude to us, then we can ask ourselves, how am I being rude to myself? Or even how am I being perceived and being rude to others? It comes back to coming back to us, coming back to us, coming back to us. So all those uncomfortable emotions that we experience on the outside, all that disappointment points us back to us, points us back to the powerful one. We're the ones that control our emotions. We're the ones that choose our emotions. So when we're tired of feeling a certain way or experiencing certain things, we don't have to feel out of control and that this person here is in control and deciding our lives for us. It's so empowering. At first, it pissed me off when I found out that, all that suffering and all those, emotions I went through that I didn't really like at the time, I chose all those. I didn't feel good, but it also suddenly transformed me, like, wait a minute, my life doesn't feel so out of control because now I get to decide what everything means about me and what everything means for me. And then that transformation of life happening to you to life is happening for me. I get to look at what did I want to learn through all these circumstances. So wonderful message for the new moon for you. A new start is coming, and maybe that new start is learning to come back to the moment, learning that I'm not a victim after all, and this power that comes in for you. A new way of doing things, going outside the box like we talked about for the new moon in Aquarius. So I hope this resonated with you. If it did, as always, I definitely appreciate any support you give me. And if you feel like giving me a like, that does help out my channel. Even subscribing helps out my channel because all those things impact the algorithm and allow these readings to appear as suggested videos for other people. So the message of love and a little Zen gets spread, more out into the world. And if you do subscribe and click the little icon, the little alarm icon, then you get notified when I put out another video. So it's a win-win, right? But I definitely appreciate it. Everything I do is to help us remember who we really are, these powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit beings made of unconditional love and of our deep connection with our Creator. So I send you all my love. I wish you all the best, and you take care now. Right, if you chose card number 2, then this is the reading for you, and this is actually the new moon in Aquarius there. Pretty, pretty, pretty. And I'm going to put this over here. And I'm going to start off by pulling a card here from the Queen of the Moon Oracle deck. And I don't mention this in the first reading, but all the cards I use are listed in the description box below with links if you're interested in getting any of those, because they're pretty amazing decks. So I always start out just thanking the Creator for being with us, and we thank you for your unconditional love. And we welcome any of the love messages you have for us. We also thank all our angels and our guides and our loved ones who have crossed over, who are with us, and any of those beings of unconditional love and light that are with us, helping bring these messages of love. We welcome you and we thank you. All right, let's shuffle these up here. All right, and what is the first message for those that picked card number 2? All right, that was fast there, so we'll pick this one here, and you've got extremes. It's a nice big red card there, and this is number 34. If you are into numerology, that of course adds up to a 7, which 7 can be like a spiritual life journey too. So from the little book, it says, learn how to handle crisis with calm and resilience. Seeking balance is superior to seeking extremes. There are better ways to handle conflict than rage and outrage. There may be someone who seeks to disrupt your business or life in some way. This too shall pass. And the little affirmation it gives is, I handle extremes with grace, yet I seek balance in all things. She goes on to say here, most of us have experienced extremes of weather, boiling hot days or the freezing of snow and ice. You certainly know you are alive because the sensation can be so overwhelming or stressful on the body. The hot moon appeared in the hottest time of the year, where the days were longest and the rains less frequent. This is called the hot moon, if I didn't mention that. Similarly, we can experience extremes in life: deaths, job losses, relationship breakdowns, true fears, big conflicts, booms and busts, and yet, this is life. Our situation can change quickly for better or for worse. The hot moon challenges us to build our resilience and reserves of wisdom and calm for those times where things are in their extreme. It reminds us that developing grace under pressure is worth its weight in gold, and that even these extremes in time will pass. And the companion stone, if you are into the crystals and stuff, is the sunstone. But I love this because it's talking about sudden changes and extremes. Sudden changes, of course, the new moon in Aquarius. In the beginning, when I talked about the new moon in Aquarius, it talked about change is coming and it can come quickly. So this card is kind of reinforcing that there. And I love the extremes too, because when in the beginning I talked about the phases of the moon, we go from no moon to a full moon. So we go from dark to light and then light back to dark. And there's these extremes. And those extremes are only for short periods of time. Most of the journey is from light coming and light going, right? The extreme of dark and light are the only, far pieces, but they're very small piece of time. It's like a new year, right? New Year's Day is only one day out of 365. The rest of it is about getting to the next new year. So about the journey, right? All right. Next, I'm going to pull a card here from the Path of the Soul Destiny card and see what additional message we have. All right, what additional message do you have? Oh, there we go. Didn't even have to finish. It was ready. All right, and this is card number 20. Beautiful pink tone on there. I'll zoom in so you can see what's in the middle there. All right, and let me read here and see what card number 20 has in store for us. All right, okay, and this is called Companion's Love. This card speaks of passion, creation, and union between lovers. Allowing yourself to be truly seen and vulnerable is an important step in learning to trust. There are many levels of love which can be experienced, but this speaks of the deepest, most intimate of all unions. Through this deep connection, energy is in full flow. Love is source energy. Whether we experience this source alone, through meditation, or through our connection with another, it is still source. And that's capital S source, meaning creator, universe, your higher, however your beliefs have it. And it says enjoy it, play in it, and allow yourself to fully embrace all it has to offer. And I love that, February 14th, which is a couple days after the full moon, the new moon in Aquarius, because that happens on the 11th, and of course, Valentine's Day is the 14th. We have this focus on love, during that period of time. And though a lot of it, we revert to, intimate relationship love and that type of thing, what this is really bringing to your awareness is a change. And I love especially with I'm going to say right here, bring love into the situation. So this new moon Aquarius is about bringing new love, thinking outside the box, and all that love that you've been searching for on the inside, on the outside, is really what we're searching for on the inside, which is that higher love. And you'll find, and I refer to this a lot, especially my roommate and I talk a lot about all the external things are like Chinese food. They seem fulfilling for a moment, but then moments later I'm hungry again. And if you find yourself moving from relationship to relationship, or from love to love, or even in the same relationship, you're this ebb and flow of, oh, we're so in love, and oh, I want to kill him. Oh, we're so in love. Oh, I want to kill him. That is all to point us inward to that higher love that we find, that unconditional love from the Creator, the Mother and Father of all things. So with this new moon, it's really a message of bringing love into your situation. Bring true love, capital T, true, capital L, love into your life. And if you haven't had like a personal relationship with your Creator, if it's even just religion based, a lot of times we're going along with the crowd, and we believe that the Creator is something that we can't approach. We have to go through certain individuals that are authorized to go to the Creator, or we feel we're not worthy to go into what we used to call the throne room of God. But we can. We're His little children, all of us, and we can run into the throne room and leap onto the lap of the Creator, and just know that we are loved and we're welcomed, and the Creator's excited when we want to take those steps to get to know and have that deep relationship with them. All right. Next, I want to pull a card here from the Art of Manifestation deck here. That's an additional message we have. All right, what additional message do you have for those that chose card number 2, please? Okay, that's a little too many there. Getting a little full of energy. All right. All right, and we're just going to take the top one here. Internal dialogue. And love is just popping out of there, isn't it? And I'll read that here in a sec. So it says, we all have an internal dialogue within our mind. a constant stream of inner conversation? Is your dialogue kind, supportive, and affirming? Or is it critical and judgmental of both yourself and others? This card asks you to listen to your inner words and, if necessary, take steps to consciously change your language. And I love that. That also goes right in line with the, bring love into the situation, so that, negative self-talk that's going on inside us, that is our fear ego. And as we connect to that, that higher love, we start remembering who we really are, which are these, powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit beings made of unconditional love. So when we remember who we really are, we're not this character we're playing here on this earth. We're something much higher, something much bigger. And as we connect to that, then we bring in this love and we change this, inner dialogue. It stops being those whispers of failure and how you're so small and less than, and you remember who you really are, this powerful being that has no limit. And, that's where we find, like I was talking about, is where we find the love that we've been looking for. And that's number 27. Let me see what else. Sometimes she'll mention more in her book here too. Yep, it says words carry power. A charismatic leader can inspire an audience to step up and be the very best version of themselves. Or a charismatic leader can inflame an audience into committing acts of atrocity that step over any boundaries of what would constitute a decent human being. Are the words within your mind voiced through grace, promoting love and kindness to both yourself and others, or other judgmental, critical, harsh, and cynical, causing stress and distress? Almost everyone, when they first listen to their internal dialogue, will discover a proportion of negativity and also grievance within this language. Yep, so that's what we're taught, before we wake up to that love inside us. We have these beliefs of how things should be and how we're supposed to be reacting and acting. But as we question that and connect to that love, those unkind words inside of us towards others and to ourselves really start to stand out. And because that fear is noise. Those words of fear are noise, where the words of love are music to our ears, right? So they start to really contrast each other. Okay. And then lastly, I'm going to pull some cards here from this Oracle deck I'm working on with the creator. And we'll see any additional clarity we might get from them. And one more time. All right, what additional message do you have for us? Any clarification on these cards, please? Okay. Any others? And one more pass. Okay, nope, none of them all jumped out there, so we have one card here, which is called boredom. And what this card represents here is when so many things in life leave us feeling empty. You can see there's like an empty person here. They're not really there. It's just the kind of leftovers of what a body might be. And this kind of goes into the, looking for love outside of ourselves too. All those things that leave us just feeling empty and disappointed, just make us feel like we're just existing. We're not really living. And we just feel like we're not there anymore. We just feel, you can be feeling numb, and numb is kind of probably the closest word, that it comes to there. You just feel no passion. And what I love here on the bottom is the creator gives us the solution, which is reignite passion. There's a little lighter on there. And what that means is how we can convert this feeling of boredom into passion, like love, joy, in peace, unconditional love. How we can do that is to reignite our passion. And I really feel, all this has been about bringing love into this situation. I just really feel that's reiterating it, that all those external things don't fulfill us, they disappoint us. All those things we're taught that are supposed to define us and make us feel whole and complete, who we're with, what situations we're in, and what we own, pretty much, right? Those kind of encompass everything. But people change or pass away, never stay the same. And things, of course, break, deteriorate, or are stolen. So all those things are not eternal, and they will eventually change and disappoint us, right? So all that disappointment points us back inward. And once we find that unconditional love, that is like the little fire in the little lighter there that it just ignites us. It ignites you to feel things you've never felt before. And it just brings so much clarity into your life. So, like I mentioned, I really feel this is a big message to turn inward, take some time, maybe make this Valentine's Day a day for you. With everything going on in the world, if you're single anyway, it's probably a good idea to stay, until we get all our vaccines and get everything smoothed out coming up. It might be a good time just to spend some time with you and take yourself on a little inner date, show yourself love, and have like a date night with the Creator. Just open up and say, hey, I want to get to know who you are in a personal way, one-on-one. I want to have a special relationship with just you and not have all those opinions of other people influence who I think you are. I want to get to know who you are one-on-one. So hopefully this resonated with you. And if it did, I definitely support. I appreciate any support that, you give. If you feel like giving me a like, I really appreciate those. Those will help out my channel, as well as subscribing to my channel. Those things help my videos appear as other people's suggested videos, so the messages of love get out there and a little Zen gets spread as well. So, and also if you subscribe, if you click the little alarm icon, then you'll get notified of any future videos that I do. Usually do a couple a week. So just, sharing love. Everything I do just to help us remember who we really are, those powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit beings made of unconditional love, and to remind us of the deep connection that we do have available with the Creator. So I do send you all my love, and I wish you all the best, and you take care now. Right, if you chose card number 3, then this reading is for you. And this, of course, is the full moon in Aquarius, which is looking toward the future in about almost 6 months, give or take-ish. And I love it. It says, show the world the real you. So we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Queen of the Moon Oracle deck here, just to get our general energies. And before I start that, I just love to thank the Creator just for being here with us, and we just thank you for your unconditional love. We also welcome all our angels and our guides and our loved ones who have passed over, and any of those other supernatural, unconditionally loved beings of light from the other side that are helping bring these messages of love. We welcome you all and we thank you. And someone asked me once, doesn't that wear you out, doing readings and communicating with the other side? And I just feel like I'm supposed to tell you this, that no, whenever I connect to that love energy on the other side, it actually energizes me, and I just love. Sometimes I'll just sit and shuffle cards because I just feel that connection, and you just kind of feel like you're sitting in the space of bliss. So I'm not sure why I was kind of prompted to tell you that, but there you go. All right, so what's the first message for those? Well, I think that's going to be it there. For those that chose card number 3. You got Wisdom, Waning Gibeus. This is card number 2. I just show reaching for the wisdom of the moon. 22 is a good master number too, which is kind of like, I call it the master builder number because it helps you understand life, not just how the ego works, but just how there's a bigger world. You know, it kind of shows you a perspective of seeing from the moon down on the earth. You just see there's a whole nother side of life. It's like understanding your conscious and the subconscious world as well. So the little book, it talks about wisdom is more than mere knowledge. There may be something you aren't seeing and need to research more thoroughly. Wisdom is gathered, but it takes time. Learn from your experience. You might wish to ask the opinion of a wise mentor if you are uncertain. In the little affirmation, it says, I use my knowledge and experience to make wise decisions. And she goes on to say, it is often said that the body has its own innate wisdom. If healthy, it just knows what to do and does what it needs to keep us alive and moving without thinking too much about it. Most of the time, we aren't aware of trying to keep our heart beating or of breathing when asleep. Good thing, right? If we had to remember to keep our heart beating and to breathe, we'd have a lot less population on this planet, I think. Then it goes on, it says, similarly, we have this innate reasoning system, intuition, that allows us to get answers or receive information without conscious thinking. It's that feeling or hunch of information or insight that is just there. Some people believe this is the wisdom we receive from the gods, the very spark of the divine voice that is left within us. This is a very old kind of wisdom that sits in a very old part of the brain. Then there is the gathering of knowledge and experience and what we discern and learn from this. If the result has acuity, if it is successful in the real world and good in sense and perception, it's most probably wise. The getting of wisdom takes time, usually, and we can be impatient for it. I want wisdom now. We might cut corners and not see the role we take in our own poor decision-making. To me, though, as modern people, we have millennia of wisdom to assist us. Human history has some very wise people starring in it, and some not so wise. So we have plenty of examples from which to learn. Gathering wiser people around us is in fact one of the wisest things anyone can do. We cannot always know it all, and a wise mentor or friend can not only save us from a poor decision, but also demonstrate how to be wise if we aren't quite there yet. And it gives a companion stone if you're into crystals and metals. It's fluorite is the stone for this one. And I love this because, as I was mentioning, the moon, it talks in here, and something that I've really been coming to me over these last couple months is that, when we delve into the subconscious, that's where a lot of the spirit world, how it comes in from the unconscious to the conscious. There's that veil of forgetfulness that's there, and that's what separates the conscious from the unconscious. So what this is talking about, which I love, show the world the real you. It's getting to know the real you, getting into your subconscious, getting in and connecting with that moon energy. And just delving into those depths is really for this messages for you. And then next we'll pull a card here from the Path of the Soul, Destiny cards. Get some additional messages here for you. All right. What additional message should we have for those that chose card number 3, please? Please make it really obvious for us. So these cards are wanting to fly, but none have popped out completely yet. Nope, except for that one. All right. And you got card number 44. It's a beautiful number there. And card number 44, it's interesting. Card number 22 is a power number, and 44 is also a master number, which number 44 involves, and this is my interpretation. There's, of course, a bunch of different numerology information out there. But for me, like, the master numbers 11 are how you learn to master your ego. Number 2, like I mentioned with this, the master builder, is understanding that there's two sides of us, our conscious and our unconscious. 33 is mastering our spiritual journey upon this physical plane. And master number 44 is kind of bringing all three of those into balance and understanding like the big picture. So I think it's a big message for you. You've been doing some great inner work, and just a lot of just intricate work of the journey. So kudos to you. For this little book, this card is called Birth of Angels. You are surrounded with the loving support of the angelic realm. You play an important role on the earth in uplifting the consciousness of the planet. The angels are here with you to help in every way they can. Remember, you have not been abandoned here. You're not alone on this journey. Your gifts are very special and very needed. These divine beings are here with you to aid you in becoming fully who you are truly meant to be. Now you will see your path opening more than ever before. Show the world who you really are. I love it. These divine beings are here with you to aid you in becoming fully who you are truly meant to be. And I love that, the master. That's who we're all truly meant to be. That's opening up to who we really are, right? Love it. All right, next we're going to pull a card here from the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards here. All right. What additional message do we have for card number 3, please? Okay. This is outcome number 41. I love that picture there. I'll let you see that before I read it. Says this card asks you not to be too attached to a specific outcome. In any situation, the possibilities are open-ended. Anything might happen. Try not to prescribe a fixed outcome with your mind, as this may limit your availability to access the infinite scope of possibilities sent to guide you in the best possible direction. Yeah, I really feel like a message for this is you can trust that life is happening for you. And on this journey, I mean, you got such powerful cards here that you're being guided. You know, it talks about these angels are here to help you on your path, and you've got a boatload of invisible support on this life path that you're having here. And let me see what additional, she'll have some additional insight in her little book here too. And it says manifestation involves holding our vision while letting go of any fixed perceptions of the outcome. In our goal-driven culture, we often try to hold firm in exactly the direction that we feel we should be going in order to achieve our goals. And yet, if we are to be successful in becoming actively co-creative and manifesting our deepest desires, then we must not only be able to vision in that which we wish to create, but we must also learn to work hand in hand with the universe and allow our pathway and the shape of our desired outcome to unfold. You are called to hold fast to your vision and yet, at the same time, let go of the specifics of both the journey and the outcome. Trust, and the universe will deliver. Perfect. All right. And then last, I'm going to pull a card here, or some cards here from this Oracle deck I'm working on with the Creator, just to see if we'll get any clarification, any additional messages here for us, or reinforcement, validation? We'll take it all, right? All right, what additional message or clarification do we have for those that chose card number 3? Okay. Okay, so that one there. Any others? Okay, nope. And one last pass, please. All right, well, actually, they told me one more. Okay. Oh, okay. They want me to do this bottom one here. So we'll start off with this one. It's card number 4. It's the waxing and waning. And this, of course, is all about the moons and the journey. And I love that this was talking about the journey and not being caught up in the outcomes, because it is a constant journey, a constant fluctuation between, when we start off with the new moon, which is dark with a little sliver of light, and the light gets bigger, 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 and then it wanes and goes off and off and off. So depending on where you're at, you can be feeling like the cup is half full or half empty. If you get caught up in, especially like if you're the new moon wanting to get to the full moon, you're like, come on, light, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. But then when the light starts to go away, you start to freak out. Or if you're in a full moon and you're wanting things to change because you don't like the things that are going on. You don't like the, this light of the full moon. What is it bringing to light, and what is it showing you about your life? You're like, I want it to go away, light. And it starts to get darker to the dark moon. You're like, oh, good. And then the light starts to come back. And you're like, no more. So depending on where we're at, I love it because it's just reiterating. We can get caught up into the cycles and of what we're wanting to have, but every single moment of the phases of the moon has a purpose for us in our path. So just to be aware of that. I love this here too. This is called the win-lose game, which of course is about getting what we want, and when we get defensive when other people are not being who we want them to be, and how like in fencing it's called offend, which is like to attack. It's like, I've been offended. And I mentioned a reading recently about this, how we've, especially in the United States, have become such a culture of being easily offended. It's like, oh, just you telling me that I get offended offends me. It's almost like to the extremes where it's like we can have tougher skin. We just become so soft-skinned and so adamant about, no, this is how life should be. It should be my way, not your way. And, that whole, like I said, win-lose, right? And I love this on here because it's the bird of peace on here, but the creator says how we can convert this energy here into unconditional love, peace, and joy. It says the best defense is to be not offended. So it's not the best defense is to have a good offense. It's the best defense is not to be offended at all. And in that, it creates that space for us to allow people, it talked about here, show the world the real you. We're afraid to be the real us because we're afraid that people are going to attack us, right? And when we face that fear and we allow others to be themselves as well, the real them, we start to see a change. We start to see the love, that it shows in the middle here. We start to see love in the middle of it all instead of the swords. Love becomes our focus. So I love this for you, really just getting into understanding yourself, getting into the unconscious, getting into the mystical, getting into just that moon energy, and to understand who you are. Delve into your unconscious. There's a book, and mine's going blank, but I'll put it right here because I'll look it up and put it here for you. But it's about how to delve into your unconscious. And it comes up with this great idea of this kind of this square box that you do, that, you do a square and then you do a cross in the middle. So you have 4 boxes, and you can just start to understand yourself by, doing questions like, one can be, why do I desire to be a victim? Why do I fear being a victim? And they can do the opposite. Why do I desire to be a hero? Why do I fear being a hero? And you just get to understand, and it takes you into some unconscious things. Usually a couple of the boxes are things that I've been, aware of and I'm conscious of, and it's been my thing I've been working on, for years. But when you do that and you go into the unconscious, you really start to see things that you didn't think about. And it's not about solving them. It has a little prayer that you just thank the Creator for bringing the awareness, and by your grace, I give these to you to take care of them. And it's just really bringing all that unconscious into the conscious, just helps you be more conscious of it. And you understand so much more of this character that you're playing, and it allows those things to dissipate so you can connect to the real you in there. So, but I'll put that title out there for you so you can check it out if you so wish. And I'll put a link in the description box below too. But I just hope this brought a little bit of love, joy, and peace into your moments today. I definitely always appreciate any support you give. And if you feel like give me a little like, definitely appreciate that. That helps out my channel, as well as if you subscribe to my channel. Those things just help the algorithms and help my videos appear for other people too. So it can help spread a little more of these messages of love to them and give people a little bit of Zen in their life, right? But I do definitely appreciate you. I send you all my love, and I wish you all the best. You take care now.